Hey, what's going on, family? My name is Sean. That is Rob, and that is Tony.
Yes, indeed.
And
It's
this is the 2 to 1 podcast. We are on episode number 4.
That's right.
We're so glad that you have made it this
Yes.
far, and we're so glad that you have made it past week 3.
Week three.
Some may be joining this episode as their week 1.
Yeah,
They might be.
Yeah.
So
Hopefully you get it past week 3.
week 3, 1, 2.
Amen.
And if you don't know what we're talking about, go back to our episode 3 and you will be filled in. Go ahead and
Yes.
just go back and listen to episode 1 through 3. Come on, somebody.
Well, last week we talked about the moment when feedback stops.
That's right.
Yeah.
The excitement fades, men quietly disappear.
Wow.
Talked about the weight. This week will be about the weight that men carry. We're talking about the weight. Men carry pressure, provision, identity.
Yeah.
The connection is that a lot of men don't quit in week 3 just because they're lazy or they're undisciplined. They quit because they're already carrying too much and no one knows it.
Yeah.
So they fade silently.
Fade silently.
Yes.
Yes. When commitment stops paying, and like Sean was talking about, this may be episode 1 for you, even though it's episode 4. But we're going to reference a lot of episode 3, where the commitments that we make, we tend to kind of walk away from them in week 3. It just happened to be that episode 3 was also like week 3, so don't get too confused by that. But if we reference that, it pique your curiosity, go back and check that out, because there's this moment when commitment stops paying us emotionally because we're so attached to this result versus the process, and we're really connected and committed to the end result versus the process. So when things stop paying us emotionally, we just tend to quit. We don't have any margin to stay. It's not because we don't care. It's just because we're kind of exhausted and alone. That feeling of just being tired and exhausted, or we're just doing this alone. Last week, the episode that we dropped last week revealed a lot about discipline, kind of opened the door towards discipline.
Yeah.
Today, we're going to talk about the weight that comes in, and we'll eventually get to tie all of them together. But when a man is carrying both without support, something always gives. So if there's no support, something is going to give. And unfortunately, a lot of times what gives is we just quit.
Yeah.
So maybe the question really isn't, why can't I follow through? Maybe the question is, what am I carrying that makes follow through seem impossible? So, yeah.
Or did you pick up too much weight in the first place?
Yeah. What am I carrying? Yeah. What's the weight that I'm carrying? If you're tired right now, that's not weakness. That's information. So being tired, if you're out there and you're feeling like, man, this is really tough. I'm exhausted. I'm worn out. Don't just think that it's weakness. It's information. Your body is telling you something.
Yeah.
Silence isn't strength. It's a warning. Don't disappear.
Yes.
Get honest. So as you set through today, I challenge you to be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
What weight am I carrying that makes this really seem impossible? And I'll start off with just this little story, and you guys can weigh in. It's a little poem that I wrote.
All right.
I didn't write it.
Here's your little poem I wrote.
Yeah, you may want to sing it note for note. But don't worry.
Poet Rob.
Be happy. Poetry with Rob. All right. That's I wrote this one right off the internet machine. It's called Plagiarism. I know a man who never complained. He never talked about stress. He never asked for help. He showed up every day. He worked hard. He provided. He did what was expected. From the outside, he looked solid. But slowly he started disappearing.
Yeah.
He was still in the room, but not really present. Shorter fuse, quieter dinners, longer nights scrolling or zoning out, not because he didn't care, but because he was exhausted in a way he didn't have language for. No one ever told him he was allowed to put the weight down. So he carried it alone. Most men aren't tired because they're weak. They're tired because they're carrying everything by themselves. And that's what we're talking about today. Men rarely complain, although probably our spouses would disagree.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, no, they would just say we're saints. I know my wife would. Shout out to my wife. It was sarcasm there. She would not say I'm a saint, but I hope one day she will. Men rarely complain, but they just slowly collapse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pressure doesn't make men, doesn't break men, but the silence does.
Yeah.
So just kind of a couple questions to open the conversation is, why do you think men default to silence instead of saying, I'm overwhelmed?
Well, I think men don't talk about pressure because they think it's just a part of the deal. Like it's just a part of being a man.
Well, I think they have at one time or another in their life verbalized it, and one, nobody listened, or they ridiculed them for it. And so now their go-to is just, I won't say nothing because it's not going to be heard anyway. Or I'm not you make me feel like I'm less than a man if I do. So I won't say nothing.
That almost sounds like lack of responsibility. Like, I'm not going to say it because you're just going to ridicule me or, you know.
I don't think that, because sometimes the person who you're telling it to are so valuable to you that you do not want to hurt them or destroy them. So you don't say something, because a lot of people want you to be vulnerable, but when you become vulnerable, they can't handle it. So they respond in a certain way. And then that causes you to respond in a certain way. An example is this. I'm talking to, I'll just say for lack of anybody else, but not really. I'm talking to my spouse, and she says, hey, tell me how you feel. And I tell her how I feel, and she says, that don't make any kind of sense. You're a man. Because what she thinks a man should be, those things don't happen. So I says, okay, I could do one or two things. I could say, well, I disagree. I'll say, Rob, I disagree. Agree to disagree. But in me, I would probably say, well, fool, you must be out your doggone mind. This is how I feel. You ask. Now, if you can't take it, close your mouth, leave me alone.
That is something he would say.
And so that destroys her. And so I won't talk to you about that because you can't handle it. I'll just either talk to the sky, God, or myself, but I'm not going to talk to you. I go to a men's group, and I ain't going to talk to you. That's a reality that I live in. So I don't know about you.
Well, it sounds like we're going to go into a therapy session with Tony.
No, you don't have to.
Marriage therapy today.
If I come and tell you something, I can tell you, and it's what it is. We'll talk about it, and we keep moving. Other people, I don't, so I have to be careful on how I share my weight, because some people can handle it, some people can't.
Yeah.
And then I've shared weights in the past, where the person treated you differently after you shared the weight because I became human. They thought I was a Superman. So once I became human, all of a sudden, instead of, say, my title was Dr. such and such, so now I'm not doctor, I'm Tony. Because now we had the same struggle, same weight. So now we're on the same page, but really ain't on the same page. Not that I'm better or less than, but I'm just not with you like that. So you just notice certain things, and so that causes you to shut up.
What I hear about that is, one, I think groups are important. So having your group of people that you can be authentically you with, which I think we do a great job here every Wednesday night at 6:30. If you're in Houston, Texas, come check us out. Right. As soon as something that we say, as soon as you walk through that threshold, that door, it's, hey, we're all on the same level and play. So I'm taking away, I might be a doctor, which we have doctors, lawyers, pastors, business, we have all those people in our group, right? So we strip that away from them. And as soon as they walk, well, it's stripped away from them. I won't say stripped away, but like we all put that down at the door, kind of like putting your phone away, before you get to the dinner table, right? So you put it down, and what are we left with? Hey, I'm just a man, just like you, right? We all go through stuff, and so that I feel like that lightens the pressure to share that, hey, I have a weight, or I have a burden that I'm going through. I'm struggling with something, and so that helps to cultivate an environment of transparency and vulnerability without judgment. And I think that's a real good thing that we have here. It's because this is a safe place. Whether you're listening or you come here to our group, this is a safe place. So I can tell you, hey, I'm struggling with this, or I'm just tired right now. And you're not going to hear from us, well, you should be this, you should be that. Most of the time, if not all the time, what you're going to hear is, well, why do you feel that way?
Yeah.
What's going on? Let's get to the root of that.
Yeah. So let's beat Tony up here real quick. Not beat him up. But so the question is, why do we as men default most of the time to silence rather than just to say I'm overwhelmed? So do you think in everything that you were saying with your angelic wife,
Yeah.
I just use it as an example.
Right?
But
no, but
it's people.
we're Sean and I need to stay on her good side. So your angelic wife
is
your
great.
faultless, blameless wife.
She is.
And-
Yes, she is.
But do you think that for the most part, men have some sense of not wanting to seem less than, or not wanting to not wanting people to think that they can't handle it?
Is that bravado?
Right. I think that all that's valid, but I've been here a while. So those things are
He
not
literally has been on Earth
those things are
a long time.
they're not as, valid to me anymore, because I really don't care about that kind of stuff anymore. I just want to be better.
Okay, so
Right.
not about you,
But I think
what about these guys? What
Yeah,
about
I think
everybody
the
else?
average person, there is some. I'm not inadequate or whatever. You don't want to be vulnerable, and you don't want nobody to know that you got shortcomings, so you carry all this weight. Or you really can't accomplish what they want you to accomplish, but you don't want to tell anybody. I get it.
Have you
You're
ever
right.
seemed overwhelmed? Let me say this, because
Last
there's
week.
a way to last week.
What you talking about?
I want to
Overwhelmed.
say it this way. Has life ever occurred to you as overwhelming?
Oh, of course.
For sure.
I don't want to, I'm careful to say that, because I don't want us to label things as it's fact. Like, is it objective or is it subjective? Right? It's life is overwhelming. Is it? I mean,
because I recognize,
that way.
I get it. It's overwhelming. Usually, it's overwhelming to me is when I haven't done the things that I need to do to not make it overwhelming.
Very interesting that you say that, because that, and maybe we can explore that before we go any further. If you have, all right, instead of saying that it is a fact that my life is overwhelming, what does that do to you? It validates that everything is overwhelming and you just don't understand, right? You just don't understand what I'm going through. Versus looking at it and saying, from time to time, my life, it occurs as I'm overwhelmed. So, which is subjective or objective? Which one is fact? Objective. Objective is fact. Subjective is not fact. They're not factual. Objective is. So it can occur as I'm just so overwhelmed. And then as men, we really, instead of just shutting down and wearing it and internalizing it, because no matter how much we internalize it, it's still going to come out.
Yeah.
And somebody's going to feel
shape, way, or form.
in some way, shape, or form. Somebody's going to get that shrapnel when it explodes, right?
Yeah.
And usually the people closest to the grenade get all the shrapnel. So that's our wife, our kids.
They didn't use grenades in there.
Grenade.
But anyway,
we didn't use them in the Air Force. All right. But
you
So-
brought it in here.
instead of internalizing it, we could realize that we're not different than anybody else. We just don't know that because men don't talk about it. So how do we break that cycle.
Because society has taught us, well, men don't talk about feelings. Men don't have feelings. Like you gotta be tough, rough and tough. You don't cry. Get up. But what you say? Pull yourself up by the bootstraps, right?
Yeah, they've been taught wrong.
Yeah. Going to talking about my therapist, right? So, I had a good cry session, and she was like, "You deserve that cry," and I wish that more men would do the work that you're doing. And what work is that? The work is looking introspectively, looking into yourself and seeing, okay, what makes me tick, and being able to have an emotional vocabulary, have this emotional will, right? I talk about emotions, right? But more so, it's more than the emotions. Why do you feel the way that you feel? Why is that triggering to you? So I see it as, crime might be seen as a weakness or whatnot, or society might say.
There you go.
Society might say that men crying is a weakness, but I think the truth is that it shows a sign of strength. If you can talk about your feelings and emotions, and you can speak to why you feel that way, I think that's powerful, because you know what's going on, and you can declare a breakdown, right? You can declare, hey, you know what?
Yep.
I feel overwhelmed because I may have bitten off more than I can chew.
Yeah.
And I need help to refocus. That's another thing men don't necessarily ask for. It's help, right?
That's right.
Yeah. I think everything that's good for us, they tell us that it's not. And they dumb us down to a beer, a remote, and a couch.
Homer Simpson.
Which
And
is
donuts.
totally a lie. And so I just think that the things that you're talking about are the things that we need. We need them. They're necessary. I think we were built that way. We were built to have communications. We were built to share our thoughts. I mean, I hate to say it, but go back to Adam. God looked to see what he would name the animals. He wanted this dialogue, this relationship to come in. Hey, why'd you name it an animal? Why'd you name it that? And we need to do that in our lives every day.
But
from raising our kids to going to work, we just do.
You said something that might not be on topic, but when Adam spoke, when a man spoke, it was.
That's right. So even declaring a breakdown and then getting back up is it's powerful. So we need to speak.
It is powerful. So as men, from an early age, as a boy, becoming a man, right? And and being taught
When
how to
does
be a
that
man. What did that look like? Probably for a lot of men, it was if you produce, you're valuable. Right? I mean, would you agree with that? That's what I remember. If I produce, I'm valuable. If I don't, then I just disappear. Like, I'm not valuable. So I got to go produce. But that also, I think, speaks to why I don't want, or maybe why men don't want to admit that things are overwhelming.
Right.
Because now maybe that would mean I'm not valuable. And we have been taught that you just need to produce, you need to be valuable, you need to be the man. But nobody says nobody defines what the man is.
Right. Because I could think 17, United States Marine Corps, you either produce, protect yourself, or you die. So that's ingrained in me from 17. Produce. You're expendable if you don't. That's what they would say, right? You're expendable if you don't produce, meaning that you're a weight. You're a casualty if you don't produce. So my identity became, I want to be the high performer. I want to be at the front of the run, the front of this, the front of that. I want to get promoted the quickest because that tells me that I'm the man. And then I was in a place where some of us of my persuasion got treated badly. So I was wanting to get so much rank that I could go back and help my brothers. All about performance, though.
It's all about performance. It shouldn't be, but it seems like it is all about performance.
But it was ingrained in me. You're not knowing it. You just take what they're selling, right? You say, hey, this is how we win wars. This is how we do what we do. adapt it, and then they ingrain it into your brain over and over and over and over, and I just repeat. You know, so that's how I was. You know.
So, so there could be then this fear that if somebody knows the truth, that I don't have it as figured out as I have led them to believe,
Right.
then that may expose me as a fraud or as not valuable, disposable, and maybe cause me to lose credit or my status. Could that be a fair assumption?
Yeah. But that's I don't know. That's what the world says we are. But God has a different perspective on that. So it has nothing to do with your performance. But the world tells us opposite.
Okay.
So,
What does it have to do with
what?
the perspective you were talking about?
What God's perspective?
Yeah.
You're wonderfully and beautifully made. You were created in his likeness and his image. Before you did anything. Before you did anything, you were special. I knew you before you were even born. I had an intention for you. I had a purpose for you. I had a plan for you. So you're valuable. Every person that is born is valuable. Every person has an assignment. Every person on this earth has something that God wants them to do. So you come into life with value. But society says you have to gain your value. You have to show how you can. What's the new thing? If you solve a problem, you become invaluable. Yeah. That's the new thing.
Is that the new thing? I feel like that's been around for a minute though.
Well, that's the new thing to us, or me, or whatever. It's been around for a while. I just came to the school late, whatever. But so
He still has a flip phone. So,
jealousy
no, he
gets you
doesn't.
nowhere.
All right, so then could it be fair to say that men still want to be appreciated for who they are?
Yes.
Down deep.
Yes.
We do want to be appreciated for who we are, who we were created to be,
Yes.
we talked about that last episode was about discovering the purpose or what matters to us, what's important to us in this internal feedback loop. And we want to be appreciated for who we are, but we have a nervous system that has been trained to expect appreciation only after output, only after action, right? So we got to do something to be appreciated. So if somebody says, I love you for who you are.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
We're not receiving that.
Yeah, we don't receive that.
Yeah.
Man, that's hard.
That is hard. How do we get past that? Like, and like truly get past that?
Other years of experience has taught us that that's impossible. We have been, for those of us who have been around for a lot of years. I've been around
After years
for a
of
lot
being
years.
an imposter, you decide one day just to be who you are. Either you accept me or you don't. But this is who I am. I'm a work in progress, and if you like that, you like that. And to be honest with you, a lot of the people that are around me now accept me for who I am because that's all I'm showing them. Because I'm tired of being that other. It's too much work. That's heavy. That's too much.
All right, let me make sure that you don't just take what Tony said and use it as justification to be a jerk.
No, I'm not saying
All
that.
right,
Because I'm not a jerk.
saying that. It just accept me for who I am. Well,
You may
who
say
is-
some things.
That's not being a jerk. That's just telling the
That's
truth.
very direct.
It doesn't. That statement doesn't give us any permission to treat people less than at all. You can't you're going to accept me for who I am. That's just the way I was raised. That's just who I am.
But I'm not saying any of that.
That's not what he's saying.
That's not I'm saying.
But that's what we default to a lot is
because we always go for the negative. I'm just saying I'm a guy who's trying to do right and treat people right. I'm trying to love God and love people. And that's saying a whole lot. But with that in mind, I can't do either of those without being authentically who I am. Because then being that, I realize I need this, that, and the other. Because I am flawed just like everybody else. I need some things just like everybody else. And so that's why being authentic to me is better than portraying to be somebody, what y'all call imposter syndrome or whatever that is. That guy don't work. I got on work. I think I grew an inch when I started being myself. I literally think I did. I think I was walking around bent over for 40 years.
Man.
And one day I decided to be myself, and all of a sudden I'm taller than the people that I used to look up to, which still blows me away. And I can't explain it, but that's the truth. And so I think the weight that we carry is an unnecessary weight. And I think even with this podcast, we're trying to get you to realize, stop it. Don't do it. Become who you need to be, or just allow yourself to be vulnerable and let somebody help you. Because that's the only reason I'm gotten better. It's not that I had an epiphany and I woke up and I said, hey, I am better. I'm going to be, no, it's because of Sean, because of you, because of the guys that we talk to. I see myself in them and I say, how can I become better?
Yeah.
So what I hear you saying is that you are a you haven't arrived.
No.
You're a learner.
Yeah.
Like you're continuously looking for ways to improve. So talk to the person that is I met you what 18, 17, 18?
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
You've been
a long
around
time
a
ago.
while.
Yeah, I have been around a while. But I just remember graduating from high school, and I didn't know what the crap I was gonna do. Right? I knew that like going to college was what you were supposed to do because that's what they did on TV.
Yeah.
All right, you go to college, but how do you go? You know, I didn't even know about applying to colleges. I didn't know about, you have to get a good score on your SAT. I didn't know much of nothing, right? What I did know,
spell SAT.
yeah, I guess SAT, baby.
That's a good thing. It's a start.
Yeah. A GPA wasn't that strong, okay, at all. All right. But what I did was I just knew work ethic. My father taught me work ethic, and you go, you get a good job, right? You find some good benefits, and then you do that, and you just go to college, right? Because college is gonna get you wherever you need to go, right? Okay, cool. So by God's grace, I guess I got into college.
Yeah.
With the Lone Star College system. Come on, somebody. It took me 7 years to get an associate's. No, it took me 4 years to get an associate's and another 3 to 4 years to get my bachelor's degree. But
then you got a master's degree. So what you
I got it. But that's a different thing because I knew what it
that's
was.
the new man in Christ.
But then remember.
That's episode 5.
Yeah, but remember at 18, I said I wanted to go to seminary school.
Yeah.
At 18, I don't know why I want to go to seminary school. I just want to go to seminary school.
It took you 7 years to get it. Okay, nothing.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah.
traveling around in the wilderness. I was in church, out of church. I didn't know who I was, and I think studies show
That's
that.
hope for the wilderness guy.
Come on, somebody. From 18 to 25, we're still, from 0 to 25, like our brain is still
Learning.
developing.
Yeah.
And so my original question is, like, speaking to those people that are from 18 to 25, like, we're still trying to figure out ourselves. Like, who am I? Like, how do we build that? How does that 18 to 25-year-old really, I guess, build who they are and determine where they're going to be?
Wow.
One thing, and I'll let you two speak, but one thing that I do know and that I recommend is that, man, you got to try different things. Like you have to don't be afraid to fail and go try different things. How do we know what we want to do unless we go and try that thing and realize, I really don't want to do that. And I have another question, but go ahead.
I thought you were asking Tony.
I'm asking both of you.
said both of
gentlemen.
us.
Yeah. Stop going to default to the.
My thought is that because we're talking about the weight that young men carry in general.
Yeah.
My thing is don't put so much on yourself so early. Don't do that.
Yeah.
You got time. I'm living proof. Rob's living proof. You got time. You'll live long. Get some tools in your belt. Don't live like a heathen, but if you live righteously, you'll live long.
What is that, Justin?
Define heathen and righteously.
No, but that is a common thing. Like, and I remember that, even though I'm getting further away from my 20s. Man, I have to get here by this age. Like, I need to graduate by this. I need to be, making this amount of money by this. And in your 20s, you think the world is over when you turn 30, which is a lie.
Yeah.
But like, why do you think that is?
Yeah. I mean, I think
The pressure.
I think it's a
to
lot
get-
of stuff. People ask you, "What are you doing? Why don't you have kids yet?" This, that, and the other. That old saying, "Till thy own self be true." Know what your compass is and where it's taking you, and don't put all that weight on yourself. Don't do that. You got time, and you don't know it all. For young people these days, y'all think y'all know everything, but you really don't, because you haven't lived long enough. Because some things you only learn through time, right? You only learn how to take care of your baby by having the baby and taking care of the baby. So you can't rush it and think I'm just gonna go through it. And why is this baby crying? Because it takes time, right? You learn another person in relationship over time. So to have a wonderful relationship with another human being takes time. And it takes conflict, and it takes, getting to know each other. It takes sharing. It takes a lot of stuff that you guys try to rush through. You try to get through it because of the microwave era, because of all this other stuff that tells you I can get it quick. Are you looking at that thing that they call TikTok and Instagram, that you're looking at somebody that has did something behind the camera over and over again, and now you see this perfect finished product, and you think, I want to be there right now. It's not going to happen. It's going to take some failures. It's going to take some successes. It's going to take some information from other people. It takes time. So slow down. Stop rushing this thing. Matter of fact, if you rush it, you're missing the journey. You're missing all the good things that we have stories to tell for days, but we wouldn't change a thing about those stories. Well, maybe a couple of them, but for the most part, I wouldn't change how I got here, because how I got here is maybe who I am. I could have made some other decisions, stuff like that, but don't rush it. That's my first thing. Don't rush it.
Got you.
Relax.
But how do you relax when you got this drive?
Who's driving you?
I would say ambition. I would say the
What's your motivation? Who's driving you? Are you comparisonitis? You comparing yourself to somebody else? What they got? That's trouble.
Yeah, but that's what, as a culture, as society, that's what we learn from a very young age, that you matter when you perform, and performance brings evidence, and the evidence is the performance. The evidence that performance brings is things, and like how I need to make this amount of money. I need to have this certain amount of stuff. I may live in a 1-bedroom apartment, but I drive a Range Rover. I mean, it's like I need these appearances of stuff, and
I get it.
It's. We're kind of we're growing up with that truth, that stuff is your identity.
I love stuff, but I'm gonna. It's gonna be a problem. So society, if society is your compass, you're not gonna be happy. You're gonna always be overwhelmed. You're gonna always be unhappy, because society keeps telling you don't have enough. You're not enough. So if that's your compass, you're in trouble. Automatic, off the bat. There must be, like, this thing now is there's must be more. There's something out there. What you guys have gotten for all your life, it's got to be better than that. Society will kill you slowly. That's my part. That's just me.
Well, it's very encouraging. I hope you all are feeling very uplifted by.
But I have an answer. I have an answer without being churchy, but the Holy Spirit is my compass.
Okay. Well, how?
And so it's a different drive now. It's not the same drive as somebody telling me this is what I have to do to become this person.
Yeah, but you have decades on this earth, right? And I'm not talking about you, but you do.
Yeah, but if I have decades, but those decades still mean I'm the same. I'm just like a man, just like any of us. We have different challenges. Every day is a new challenge. Every day is a new situation. Every day is a new circumstance. And so you.
But you're not. Tell me if you thought this, Rob, and Tony. I know you have. Yeah, that happened to you, but that ain't gonna happen to me.
No.
When you're a young man. You're a young bull, like, yeah, okay, all right, cool. You talking about that? Cool, yeah. You've lived.
So you're saying as a young man, they say that happened to you, but it ain't gonna happen to me.
Basically,
I hear that I have a 7-year-old and a 10-year-old. They tell me that every day.
So why? Like, how do you get past that?
Because
how do you shift that mindset?
Just yesterday I said the 10-year-old, hey, you're only 10, dude. You got 10 years of experience. You got 10 years of living. You can't know it all. listen at me. Let me help you not do what others have done. And he looks at me like, oh, you don't get it. But every day I'm telling him the same thing. Hey, and I'm giving him roadmaps now. Me and Rob was talking about this in that scripture that talks about spare the rod, spoil the child, and guide them. But it doesn't really talk about that. It talks about
Raise
leading
a child
them
in the way he should go.
It talks about leading them in the way they're bent, leading them the way their skill set. What has God put inside of them to lead them? Lead them that way. Don't lead them the way you've been led, because you're gonna make a mistake. Lead them the way you gotta watch them. You gotta know them. You gotta say, oh, you're gonna go this way. You're gonna go this way, and then lead them that way. And then that way, when they get older, they can still fall back on who they are really called to be. So, yeah.
So, I mean, that sounds like identity, right? I know we're talking about the weight that men carry, pressure, provision, and identity, right?
Whose weight is it anyway? Just ask that question.
Whose is it?
Whose weight is it anyway? Is it your mama's weight? Is it your daddy's weight? Where'd you get this from? Who told you had to carry this in the first place?
That's a deep question for me. You know, I just came
Come
from
on,
therapy.
y'all answer it. Whose weight is it anyway? Why do we got all this weight?
I think you have to figure that out. You have to figure out why do you think the way that you think? And usually from a therapist, I think, Rob, you've gone through this as well. Okay, well, tell me, I'm gonna use this word if I can. Tell me your first traumatic experience. And
Do we got all day?
Well, but it's like, well,
No,
trauma.
John,
I've never gone through any trauma.
Oh, please.
You know, is it fair to say? I've never gone through any trauma. Like, what are you talking about? Is it fair to say that, you know, everyone has gone through some sort of trauma?
Yes.
I think it's very fair to say that.
Because we're in a fallen world and people do bad things.
The reason people don't want to say that is because they associate trauma with I was kidnapped or I was molested.
The bad things.
The really bad
things.
traumatic things. And
Yeah.
then who are we to say the bad things? Like, who defines bad? It's only when you place the meaning on something that it determines the weight of it. So trauma could be, you had a very charmed life, but you spent more time with the person you spent more time with the nanny than your parents. You had a charmed financial life, but you spent more time with the nanny. Somebody that you're supposed to connect with your mom and your dad, right?
Right.
But so that could have been traumatic. Somebody could have yelled at you, or somebody could have told you when you were in third grade that you're an embarrassment because you brought toilet paper rolls to an art project, like happened to me in third grade.
Now
we won't get into
therapy?
that, but now it really comes out. So I know the teacher's not listening because you're probably dead by now. But I wish we had a chance to just talk about that. I don't actually, but I digress. So there's
But think about that. Think about that. Even in most things that happen in those situations, the person that it happens to, what are they told not to do that could help them? Or what don't they do that could help them?
They don't talk about it.
There you go.
And so it goes back to the story at the very beginning about that guy who he wasn't told that he didn't have to carry this weight around. What's interesting is, this is what I thought you were going to say. That was because I'm 55. So when I was in third grade, the first time I was in third grade, I was 5, 6, 7, 8. So 55 minus 8, 47. 47 years ago. So if that teacher had to be what? To be a teacher? I know somebody was saying in Texas, you don't even have to have a license to be a teacher. Not true. But so how old do you think they would have been even?
30? 35?
So not 20, let's say, 24.
Was she young?
If she was young, all right, but 25.
Okay.
All right, so 25 plus 48, 58, 68, 70 something. I don't know. Maybe she is dead. I don't know,
So
but
she
maybe
might be
she's
still
alive.
yeah.
The point is, even if she is dead, I carried what was spoken to me as gospel.
Right.
For 4 decades. that shaped the world I lived in. That weight I carried, that I was that person,
Right.
that it shaped everything. I wouldn't open up. I would self-protect. I would never put myself in a position to be embarrassed again.
Yeah.
I had to control every scenario, every outcome. I had to control it all.
Yeah.
So that I could make sure that you weren't going to make fun of me.
Right.
I would self-deprecate, not defecate, self-deprecate, and myself, because I'm gonna poke fun of myself first, so that you can't do it. So
you're
I
saying,
live that way.
So you're saying something like, parents, you need to check on your kids when they go back and forth to school and get them to talk to you, because if they don't get to talk to you, you don't ever know what's going on in their mind.
Yes.
And then they're carrying something that's going to change the course of their life forever.
So my mama and daddy, they never knew that happened. And my dad will never know because he's dead. My mom knows now because I told her. And she was like, wow, this episode ain't about me and my mama. But I'm sure that
Most of the time
it's about you and your parents.
Well, but it's dismissive.
It is.
Because well, first definition, trauma is an injury that overwhelms a person's ability to cope and leaves a lasting impact on the body, mind, and emotions. Jeez.
Oh, but I've been able to cope, Sean. I've got degrees. I've got an education, and I've got a great job, and I'm pulling in 6-7 figures a year, whatever.
But you know what that means?
What?
You're jacked up. You can't connect. There's a disconnect for me, and as far as my therapy journey, there's disconnect between I'm smart, I'm logical, I'm analytical, right? But there's disconnect between my brain and my feelings, my heart, because I had to cope with something as a child. I don't know what that is yet, so I'm still working through that.
Close.
But that goes to, okay, well, why do you feel that way? I don't know. Well, hey, why do you do the things that you do? I don't know, Then, and so you talk about the money and everything. Cool, great, you have that. But can you feel something? Can you feel the emotion, the excitement of having the money?
I'm just not a feeler.
That is a lie.
That is a lie.
And I believe that lie. Up until probably a few months ago, you know what I'm saying? Until recently.
Yep.
Listen, I'm just real passionate about that because
I'm gonna say something. When I can't, and this is just whatever. When I can't feel emotion, for me now, I recognize something is wrong with me.
and got shut down at what point in time?
Because before, when I would get emotion, it's like I felt the world. I could feel, even though I'm talking about feelings, but I knew that was a certain sense that my mind and my heart, everything was connected. Mm-hmm. And I understand what's going on. I can feel everything. And so as of a month and a half ago, I realized you don't cry about anything anymore, which was a problem. Mm-hmm. But then I look at that in comparison to what I'm trying to get accomplished, and I think they tie together because I'm emotionally checked out. Mm. And so with that being said, in everything that I deal with, whether it be from business to whatever, when it gets to a certain point, I check out. Because now I can't tie the emotion, the love to it, the feeling to it. I won't quit. I won't stop. Those things used to could drive me, but without that emotional part, now it's like, I just go to the house, sit outside, look at the pool water.
So, men, emotions are necessary.
Yes, for me. For sure.
No, if you want to be a whole and complete man, a whole and complete being, person, emotions are necessary.
They will show up.
They shouldn't drive you.
Right.
They shouldn't drive you. You are
decisions based on emotion.
That part. But we all should be able to feel something.
Yeah.
It's part of how we were designed and created.
If you don't connect to the emotion, the root cause of the pain, the trauma, all right? So if you don't connect to that trauma, that's my wife calling, and it always bypasses.
Let's go. Answer the phone, Rob.
Answer it. I'm not going to answer it, but she'll understand. If we don't deal with that that root cause of the pain and that traumatic event, and we continue to suppress it year after year after year, and then we continue to live a life to where output determines our identity, then the feelings eventually will come out.
Implode.
Like they will implode. So
I call it screaming.
Screaming.
They'll scream, boy. And when they scream loud, and everybody hears it, and everybody gets hurt.
Everybody, and I think we talked about. I don't know. We talked about it earlier, but the grenade, the shrapnel. People take it.
That Air Force people didn't. That's what he said.
Yeah,
that's what the Marines said.
Marines.
I don't know anything about that.
They had Air Force grenades.
It's really
they were
just an
pink
example.
with little things
For
like
when
a
there
bomb.
is-
They're gonna like a firecracker bomb.
We're there. Hey, welcome back. All right. When there is an implosion, the people nearest you are the one that take the most damage.
Yeah.
And so you think about this as a man. When someone says to a man, "I appreciate you for who you are," his response is typically not relief. It's confusion.
Yeah.
Like, huh? You don't even know me. Because the lived experience is who I am only matters when I'm doing something.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I really appreciate that gazebo.
Yeah.
That gazebo you built. I really appreciate that effort you put in. Thanks for the hustle today. Thanks for providing for the family. Thanks for mowing the lawn. Thanks for whatever. It's like I'm
Right,
doing something.
right.
So not just I appreciate you for who you are. That's the confusion comes in. So appreciation without output feels unearned, and unearned feels unsafe. When something happens that we think is unearned, it feels unsafe. So that's why men often deflect compliments, or they minimize rest, not just because they're rejecting love.
Yeah, but think about that. They teach us if you don't pay for something, it doesn't have as much value.
Right. And so we're not rejecting love. We're protecting our identity as we know it.
Yeah.
And it's not and it goes back to what you said earlier, Tony. It's not the identity. It's not the true identity of ourself. It's the identity that we've created or we've taken on as our identity.
Right.
And some would say our identity is I am a doctor, I am a lawyer, I am this, I am this, I'm sarcastic, I'm just this is the way I am. That doesn't have to be a man's identity.
Right.
Eminem says, "I am whoever you say I am."
Okay. All right.
Well,
Shout
that's
out
what God
Eminem.
said.
Yeah.
I know he's listening. Eminem is. You may see him in the comments.
Marshall Mathers. Yes.
Thank you, dude. Eminem is. He's talented.
I am.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's it.
They're protecting identity. So let's try to land this plane on weight. All right. We've moved from the weight men carry to identity. How does it all connect back together? Like if you were to try to connect the feedback loop when it goes silent. A man who ties his worth to output feels unnecessary. So maybe that's why we move from commitment to commitment to commitment to commitment. Well, he can't commit. Well, yeah, he's committed to about 500 things this year. Yeah, he's just looking for a different commitment because there's just that unrest.
I just feel like we, and who I'm speaking to right now, I mean, it's everyone really, but I'm really focusing on those 18 to 25, or even 18 through 30, right? Who are you? And you have to be happy with who you are. And you have to know who you are. I would venture to say that you knew who you were at a young age, but it was shaped and molded by your community, whether that be parents, your teachers, school, whatever, right? I would offer you this and just do this exercise and just sit down and just chill, relax, and think. Close your eyes and think back to when you were a child, and think back as far as you can, and go back to remember who you were and what made you happy what were the things that you did that you were really, I guess, what you were good at, but that brought fulfillment, right? And I think that is who you are to your core. And so think about that, and then look at your life and all the things that you've done before. So, for example, I've always been an encourager. People have always come to me and have always felt just, I guess, safe, and they told me their business, right? I'm a trustworthy person, right? But they people feel comfortable telling me like how they feel, and so that, and I've always in turn been able to give them some sort of insight, some sort of wisdom, some sort of just something, encouragement, really, to help them to go on, right? So that's who I was when I was young. That's who I was when I was lost in the world, right? That's just who I am. So that's the identity. So holding on to the identity becomes your foundation. Build around those pieces of who you know you are, who you've always been. Not like before the world, before the noise, like who you were to your core. And start building on that. And so as you begin to build on that, it could be 1, 2, 3 things, right? Okay, I'm building on that thing, and I'm going to continue on that path of this is who I know to be. And then from there, I think that helps to alleviate any pressure, because you know what, like, yeah, I have these responsibilities as a man, like as a provider, as a father, husband, brother, whatever, but I'm only doing these things based off of who I am. And you could have a conversation with people like, hey, you know what? I've been doing some soul searching. I'm tired of being, I'm tired of carrying this pressure. I'm tired of being quiet. You know, I'm tired of being overwhelmed, right? This is who I am, and this is what I'm going to do this year. This is who I'm going to strive to be. I'm scaling back everything, right? I'm decluttering, and I'm going to focus on this one thing here. I'm going to build on that. So I would appreciate, and not everybody might accept this, right? But I would appreciate that this is who I am. This is what I'm saying my identity is, and I'm an encourager, right? And I'm going to build on top of this and see where that leads you as the year progresses.
Yeah, so there's 2 things. One was the weight that we carry and who we are. So 5-step. Join us for this 5-step process. So, all right, stay with us for these 5 steps. I'm going to go through each one of them. Number 1. So, like, what do I do? All right, I get this whole weight we carry and identity thing. Give me something tangible. Give me something to work on. Step 1: name the weight clearly.
That's good.
Yeah.
You say this slowly to yourself, and you're not any different than us. A lot of us carry responsibility, pressure, provision, and expectation. That's what we carry. But we're also carrying something heavier. We're carrying the belief that if we stop producing, we stop mattering. That's not true.
That's a lie.
That is not true.
Yep. Not true at all.
Step 2, separate responsibility from identity. Responsibility is something we carry. Identity is something that we are. When we confuse these 2, responsibility and identity, the weight never comes off.
Yeah.
So you just stuck with it. This reframes everything without telling everybody, well, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. You just got to reframe. So stop worrying about what people are trying to tell you to do. Just reframe. Responsibility from identity. All right? In this, you may have to figure out, well, who am I?
Yeah.
Discover identity. We'll put some resources in there to really find out who you are. Right. Step 3, reclaim a healthier definition of strength. Strength isn't carrying everything alone. Strength is knowing that what is yours to carry and what was never meant to be carried by just one man.
Yeah.
So what are you supposed to carry, and what are you carrying that's not supposed to be carried? Step 4, reframe, reset, and help. You do not frame rest as recovery. You frame it as truth alignment. Rest isn't irresponsibility. I'm saying that to a lot of men. You feel guilty for taking some time off, or the Sabbath. I'm going to rest, but I should be doing something. No, man. Rest isn't irresponsibility. It's a declaration that your worth doesn't rise and fall with your output.
They say it down south. Sat down somewhere.
Sit down somewhere. Asking for help isn't failure. It's refusing to let silence continue to define you. Step 5. What would change? One single question. What would change if you believed you were valuable before you proved anything?
Yeah.
So we're talking about that identity. Mm-hmm. We are valuable before. The scripture from that old text says that our Creator knew us before we were formed in our mother's womb.
Yes.
I believe that's out of Psalms 139.
Is it?
Oh, there's
I think it's
Isaiah.
Yeah, I think it's we're gonna need to pull that up.
I think it's both.
Yes, I knew you before. It's like Jeremiah, I think, right?
Yes,
I think it is Jeremiah.
Yeah, it's Jeremiah.
So
Have to get some
we're gonna
Bible
put that
scribes
scripture
in here.
Yeah, we'll
Anyway.
put
It's
that scripture
139
there.
too.
I didn't go to seminary, but
It's
it did,
139.
and it only took me 6 years to get my GED.
Yeah.
So a man
With
can
an
carry
IQ of 155.
a man can carry a lot of weight and still be breaking, not because he's weak, but because he's confused who he is with what he does. All right? Responsibility matters, provision matters, discipline matters, but none of them are your identity. If you're tired, it's not a character flaw.
Right.
It's a signal.
Yep.
The weight doesn't come off when you work harder. It comes off when you stop carrying what was never meant to define you. So the last question would be, what weight are you carrying that was never meant to be carried alone? What would change if strength wasn't proving you could hold it all, but knowing when to let someone help? And that's really why we're here. These guys help me every day.
These guys help me every day.
Yeah.
These guys right here, they help me every day.
I'm sure hoping he would close that loop. Listen, we don't know who you are,
Yeah.
but I'm thankful for the people that I never know who they are that have poured into somebody that's poured into my life.
Yes.
I'm very grateful for that. You don't have to know who they are. They just exist. So if you want somebody to talk to us. But if you're a man and you out there carrying some weight and you feel overwhelmed, it's okay to say it. It doesn't mean you're weak. It just means that you're making progress.
Yep.
I mean, that you're aware.
Yeah. Cool.
I saw you over there, Tony. You taking notes,
Yep.
and I just know you. What you got, man?
No, I was just thinking about it. It's just that, like you said, you're not alone. Let somebody help you. You didn't come equipped with this. You did come equipped, but you're not going back to the Creator who equipped you, so you don't know what you got in your arsenal. So go along some guys who's been around a while, young or old, it doesn't matter, and realize what's inside of you, and then you realize some of the stuff you carry you shouldn't carry, and then at the end of the day, there's an old scripture that says, "Cast all your burdens on me, cast all your care on the Lord, on me," and so there's ways that the stuff that we deal with, there's an answer for it. Go search out the answer and check with us. We got a lot of them.
Cool. So, until next time, my name is Sean.
Let me say this.
Okay.
I pointed this out to you because I wanted you to read
Oh,
it.
I'm like, okay.
Jeremiah 1:5.
Well, you know my eyes. I got that. I got.
1:5. You can't see at an angle. It says, "I knew you were before you were formed in your mother's womb."
Yes.
So the statement, it says, is not calling. It's not about calling or achievement. It's about identity that predates output.
Yes.
So the identity is possible way before output happens. Before Jeremiah spoke, before he produced, before he carried any responsibility, and before anyone benefited from him, he was already known. He wasn't useful. He wasn't proven, but he was known. that directly confronts the belief most men carry. I matter because of what I do. Nope. You matter because he created you.
Whose I am.
That's right. All right. Now you can close us out with, I'm Sean. I'm Rob.
Tony.
He's Tony.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Hold up.
Oh,
He got a word.
there's another altar call. We holding.
So Jeremiah 1:5 says, before I formed you, what you just said in your mother's womb, I knew you before you were born. I set you apart, appointed you as a prophet to the nation, to the nations, right? To the nations. I'm from Texas, y'all. And what you said, what I was referring to was, and what I always go to by default is, oh Lord, you have examined my heart and you know everything about me. You have made all the delicate and inner parts of my body, and you knit me together in my mother's womb. I think the difference is God knows you for something. That's Jeremiah 1:5, and God knows you fully in Psalms 139.
Amen.
I like that. I like that.
So regardless of if you are known for something or if you are fully known, God knows you, and he knows you for something, and he fully knows you.
Knows you.
All right, that
Nice.
was it. Amen. Well, as Rob said, my name is Sean.
I'm Rob.
And I'm Tony.
All right, this is 2 to 1 podcast. We will catch you next week.
We're out.